This is the hour of power, the time of chime, the thing that gets us moving.
Okay, Don.
Oh, I got to give her
So-
her entrance
Oh,
music.
man.
Giving her entrance music.
Hey, I like that.
Because you don't get her any entrance music, so.
She had stronger.
Can't nobody hear
No,
that.
nobody heard that.
Nobody can hear. I just told you that. Nobody can hear the song because you got it going through some wires over here. So the
Piping in.
audience can't hear it. Do that again, coach.
I don't know if I can duplicate that. That was just kind of
Beep,
out of the
beep,
blue.
beep, 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 beep,
Right.
beep, beep, beep.
You ready? There you go.
Is that some music?
That's your music right there. See?
It ain't coming. I need some band.
That doesn't sound like
I need
entrance
some
music.
energetic
That's-
music. That is not
Man.
working.
You put
Anyway,
on that-
before
You
we
know what?
have a lot to talk about. I had some more stuff to talk about, but this thing right here has been hitting the airwaves since yesterday. Well, actually, since last week. We're gonna talk about this controversial HBO documentary about Michael Jackson called "Leaving Neverland." I said Netherlands.
Oh boy.
So how
Never-
come you didn't stop?
It's this drink.
How come you didn't? How come you
We
didn't
don't-
cut her off? So
She can't handle
you
apple
wait for
juice.
me.
She's smooth right
can't
now. She got a
handle
little
it.
drink on. And
I
stuff.
literally
She's-
have a little
she's
bit of
flowing
buzz
right
going
now.
on, y'all. I
She
don't
good.
drink.
Boy, that's
so
cold. That's cold.
He gave
you
me this
be hitting
big
on
old
me.
tall. It's Fat Tuesday. He gave me this big old tall thing, and he
No,
knew I
when
can't handle
when you made
I
me
need a
say you were
cup like that
brutal
over
with
there.
it. I mean,
that little cup.
What's
we,
that?
We are not drinking.
I'm done with
on the
mine.
job.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not drinking.
Cedric, what did you say?
Green
Healy,
apple cider.
Healy daughter?
is what
What is
we're
that?
doing right now.
Yeah, green apple cider.
Yeah, it's apple cider
No, I said
vinegar because I'm
hey.
trying to lose some weight. That's what that is. Okay, that's
Oh,
my
well, yeah.
mix.
All
Okay.
right.
Anyway,
Mhm.
so
Okay.
I'm sure you guys, because we didn't announce it, you guys probably have not seen it,
I have it.
but it has been in the news. It's been on sports shows, entertainment shows,
Mhm.
CNN. I mean, everybody is just blasting this people. It is just gone viral.
Leaving Neverland, right?
Yeah, leaving Neverland. So
Never, yeah,
Neverland, which is
Neverland.
according,
That's what
you
you
know,
said.
Neverland Ranch is the ranch, the big,
That
what was it like,
huge
the huge
house and everything.
paradise that Michael Jackson built
Elephants and stuff.
and
or
lived
something
at
like
when
that.
he had a menagerie. He had
Yes.
a castle in the back, just lots and lots of land. He had horses, he had exotic animals, monkeys, of course. He had
That's
a
when
lot
you
of
know
stuff.
you've had a very successful career.
I heard it menage a trois.
Where did it come from?
Inappropriate for this particular
He-
topic.
Keep it moving.
Jeez.
secure.
Very
Yeah,
inappropriate.
I don't know where they.
So anyway, yeah, can you get your boy? So anyway, so our beloved Michael Jackson,
Mhm.
which the majority of the people still believe that he's innocent,
Mhm.
you know, and the disclaimer that we have on the show is that we're, you know, try not to be biased because we're all big Michael Jackson fans. We grew up on Michael Jackson, and you know, it's hard to see this, you know, especially after what we talked about last week. We got R. Kelly and you know, the stuff that he's going through right now. And as believable as it was for R. Kelly, it's hard to believe Michael Jackson, who everybody attributes as a man child, would do something as horrible as what they're saying. So basically, the story is there's two guys. The documentary has two gentlemen who stayed with Michael Jackson when they were 8 and 5. Well, they met him when they were 8 and 5.
Mhm.
One of the things that one of the announcers that I listened to this morning was talking about, there's a movie out there called Abducted in Plain Sight, which is based on a true story of a man who befriended a family so that he can get to the child and molest the child.
Mhm.
And so they are comparing Michael Jackson to that man in that movie because they're saying that what he would do is he would befriend the family, get all lovey-dovey with the parents, and then entice them to let their child stay with him. And then while the child stayed with him, he would molest them.
Mm.
And so the young men that are in the story, I forget the guy's name. Oh goodness.
I got it around here.
I had his name up there. But anyway, there's two guys that are on this documentary that are recounting their experience with Michael Jackson. Now, what I wanted to do, I went back and I looked up the claims against him for sexual abuse, because it wasn't just these two guys. As a matter of fact, these two guys were witnesses in his trial, and they were on the defense side.
Mm-hmm.
So they defended him and said they were never molested. Nothing ever happened to them. When you go down the witness list, Chris Tucker was on the witness list as a defense witness.
Of course, he loves Michael.
George Lopez
right.
was a witness. There were several people that were witnesses on Michael's behalf. So the first trial that happened was in 1993 by a boy named Jordy Chandler. And this was in 1993. So what happened was his father accused him of sexually molesting his son. He and his wife were divorced, and the wife allowed the son to go and stay with Michael Jackson. And the father apparently noticed some things, took him to a therapist, and the therapist said he sensed that he might or might not have been sexually abused. He didn't say it was Michael Jackson, but he said that there's some evidence that shows that he may have been molested.
So real quick, the names are Wade Robson and James Safechuck.
Safechuck, yes. Okay, so those two gentlemen were witnesses on the defense. Well, what ended up happening in the 1993 case, if you don't know, he ended up settling out of court. But what they found when you go through the trial, there were phone calls that the father made that were threatening to Michael Jackson, not because of him doing his child wrong, but because he wanted to give him a script or something, and Michael Jackson wouldn't take the script and wouldn't do anything with it. So he basically said, I'm going to ruin this man's career. Sounds almost like Ezekiel Elliott. I'm going to ruin your career because you're not doing what I want you to do. So they took him through this all rigmarole. The case ended up getting closed, and he settled out of court for $23 million.
Wow.
$23 million. So that was the first case.
He got paid.
Yeah. So then that was in 93. So then 10 years later in 2003, another young man came forward, 13 years old. His parents came and said that he was molesting him. So they charged him with 7 counts of child sexual abuse and 2 counts of administering an intoxicating agent to commit a child sexual abuse felony. So this case also went to court. They went through all the witnesses. And like I said, the 2 gentlemen that are on this documentary were witnesses that he did not do it. Macaulay Culkin was a witness, defended him. And so he was found not guilty and released on those charges. There was 14 charges. And then there were like 4 other misdemeanors. And he was released. They found him not guilty. And there was like, when they first went into deliberations, there were 7 people that found him not guilty. And the other, 5 thought that he was guilty. One of the guys that came out said that he had nightmares because of all the evidence that he saw, and that he really wanted to find him guilty, but the other people, they couldn't find him guilty beyond a reason of doubt, reasonable doubt. So they had to find him not guilty, is what he said. So, based on those things, there are other cases out there. I couldn't find them in such short notice, but
once you get all that information and you go to trial and you're found not guilty, can you just move
well, it's
it?
supposed to be innocent until proven.
Whoa.
Wow. I don't know what that is, but
What
you're
is
supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Right. And once you're
And then
not,
the thing with this is that Michael Jackson is dead.
Right.
Right.
I mean, come on now. And this is what the one guy said, the Robson guy. He's married, he has a child, he's playing with his 2-year-old child, and as he's looking at his 2-year-old, he's having flashbacks of what Michael Jackson did to him. And that's what made him come forward, is what he's saying.
okay, but what is coming forward does? I mean, because if you want to go through a healing process, is putting information out in the public does that heal you?
I don't know. But what happened, this documentary was shown on HBO this past weekend, but it was shown also at the Sundance Film Festival back in January. And so it was shown to, I believe, 400 people, and the majority of the people that were in there were victims of molestation, sexual abuse.
They set that up.
So
Yeah, it's set up. Yeah.
So, the Jackson family is in an uproar. They've sued HBO for $100 million. The estate of Michael Jackson has sued
And they're
them.
going to win.
And they're going to win.
Yep.
And
Because the trial,
and then Oprah came behind all of this
I would sue
and
Oprah too.
decided to have a Q&A with the two gentlemen and the director of this film.
I'd sue Oprah.
So
too.
that's what we were watching last night, and we're gonna go ahead and watch the documentary. They said it's 4 hours. It's in 2 parts.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and watch it just because you need to decide for yourself based upon the information, because everything that I heard today was snippets. There were excerpts of what the guys were saying, and they said they got really graphic. I mean,
Yeah.
to the point where they said that, and I was telling Cedric, I was like, okay, what do you consider sexual? Because according to the one gentleman, he was there from the time he was about 8 years old, and the first time that he tried to penetrate him allegedly anally was when he was 14. But he claimed that they were having sex all over the ranch. He said that they had rooms that he would go in where he could see out and see if somebody was coming, so he can look out and do whatever he was doing. He said they did it in the pool. They had a game that he would go down and, see how long he could stay down there. And,
Mhm.
They said it was really graphic, and
Wow.
their experience was really graphic. But again, I have to see it for myself, and I just don't. According to Taj Jackson, which is Michael Jackson's nephew, he was there when they had those sleepovers, and he said to the outside world, it looks like this, but my uncle is such an innocent person. He's such a childlike person. His heart is in the right place, and he was just being like a child with these kids,
Mhm.
and he doesn't see anything wrong with it. He grew up around that, and he says my uncle had sleepovers with us all the time, and nothing happened. So, and Macaulay Culkin to this day is saying nothing happened. And he was one of the ones that was there. But what they're saying is that because Macaulay Culkin was a star and these other ones were trying to be stars, they were doing whatever it took to get there. And Macaulay Culkin didn't have to do that because he was already there.
Heck, Webster was there.
But
Yeah,
but
Webster was there. Is
Ma-
Webster still alive?
Macaulay Culkin,
Commander
he
Lewis.
also doesn't have to come to Michael Jackson's defense
He
either.
doesn't either.
He doesn't have to.
Mm.
Exactly.
So-
Corey Feldman, one of the Lost Boys, he came to
Mhm.
his defense. There's so many
Alfonso
people.
Rivera.
I didn't see that in the
He was.
news.
I mean,
I didn't see him as part of the witnesses, but
he
anyway.
knew the dance moves. He was on the Pepsi commercial.
Okay. Well, remember, after all of these allegations, he lost his Pepsi endorsement.
Yeah,
you know
because
that?
he's
They
my,
pulled a lot of stuff from him.
my thing is this right here. This is just me. Okay. We talked about the R. Kelly thing.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Drop the mic.
When he said R. Kelly.
Well, but before you get to that,
Uh-huh.
so as a result of this HBO documentary and Oprah's thing or whatever, there's a radio station in Quebec
Okay, don't mean nothing.
Canada.
that decided that
Don't
they're
mean
gonna
nothing.
pull all of Michael Jackson's
Don't
music.
mean
in the
nothing.
UK as well.
Right,
I
right,
heard
right.
about
I didn't
that.
hear about the UK. I
The
just heard
UK
about
is
this
doing it as
Quebec.
well.
And they have 23 stations across Canada, and so they've pulled all of Michael Jackson's music until further notice, is what they said.
Oh, it'll be back next
It'll be
week.
back in a month
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be back.
when this
So-
blows over.
Yeah, exactly. So to your point,
Now, what I'm saying is this right here. We've heard the whole the allegations about R. Kelly.
Mhm.
Okay, and most of those allegations are pretty much have been solidified to be true. Okay, he's finna do some time. Okay, you have all these other artists that have been solidified. Even the Bill Cosby thing, he actually said, "Yep, I gave some drugs away.
Mhm.
I drugged some of these women."
Mhm. But Michael professed his innocence up until his death,
Exactly.
and now he's dead, and he can't defend himself.
Exactly, and the same kids that came out and said he didn't do it, now they're saying he did it.
Right.
I mean, come on now.
And they're saying that they were coerced, because they're saying that he told them, if you tell, both of us are going to prison.
I'm sorry.
And they didn't want to see Michael go to prison. I mean, they went so far as to say that he had a wedding ceremony with them and gave them rings.
What rings at?
I'm telling you, this is some of the stuff that they're saying.
I'm sorry.
And so wait, we have an audience comment from Ladybug Turner. She says, this is a part of the sacrifice of fame. It happened to Michael. Sexual perversions have existed since the beginning. However, selected individuals are highlighted whom aren't the organizers of this sick circle. They're just the fall guys who were groomed into the sick culture. In some shape or form, all of us have direct history with this matter. It's a terrible, vicious, and sick disease.
That's a book.
You leave her alone.
She's a writer.
Stop messing with folks.
Here's my thing, and my question would be this right here. Okay, we have the R. Kelly incidents, right?
Mhm.
Okay, how
But
many?
should we be comparing Michael Jackson to the R. Kelly?
I don't think you should, because look at all these white folks coming out. Look at all these priests.
They talked about that too.
Look at all these priests that's coming out.
Well,
And
what
wait,
did you
wait.
say about the parents? I guess as a parent, my biggest thing is, why would you leave your child with someone that you just met? I don't care. He's a celebrity.
Jackson. You know how Michael Jackson was making people fall out when he was a little kid.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You know, he was all. I mean, when he was a kid, he was making people fall out.
Yeah.
You know, because it's Michael Jackson, and then the parents are trying to get in too.
Yeah.
If I can get my kid in, I'm gonna get in.
Well,
you
see,
know,
the one guy's parents, I think it was the Robson guy. He's from Australia, and the mother left her husband, brought the kids to L.A. to be near Michael Jackson, and the husband committed suicide.
if I'm the husband, I'm like, well, you had to go Michael Jackson to leave me, so anybody else was under that.
So crazy.
No, but my things are here. Number one, you made a good point. He's passed away. Why is this all also now relevant? And he's passed away. You know, and we've had a trial over this already. Twice. It's not like this is new stuff being hashed up. It's just these guys are coming out saying this is A, B, and C. And to me, in Oprah Winfrey, I think you're wrong for doing that, the rehash. I think you're wrong for doing the after party, the aftermath.
After Neverland.
Whatever. Yeah. I think she's wrong for that, because she's had him on the show. And she's had him on the show way before all this. I mean, during all the stuff that's coming out, after the stuff was all coming out, she's had him on the show.
Ratings.
And that's what I'm thinking. Now,
and Ladybug Turner says, I wouldn't care who the hell it is. My kids would not be left alone with anyone. I'm the same way.
And exactly.
I'm so protective.
Unless you're opportunistic. Unless you ain't got number one, your skill set can't get you no money. Number one, you was raised in a particular situation where, okay, I'm gonna have a baby, and Michael Jackson wants him. Let's roll with that because I can make some money. Everything's about money.
You couldn't pay me to put my child on the block like that.
Everything's about money. No,
my daughter was so talented. I mean, she's still very, very talented, and everyone always used to tell me, you need to get her into show business, so on and so forth.
Again,
at that arena.
Like I said, aside from the R. Kelly situation, how many other black kids we got going out there doing? How many other black kids?
How many parents, black parents?
It's in that situation.
Right. We don't do
aside
that.
from the R. Kelly thing,
I don't care
how many other black kids we got out there just saying,
But you do have some.
I didn't say you didn't. I didn't say you didn't.
Have some of us.
But guess what?
Take the money and run.
And they got shut up and paid off.
Definitely.
And they ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, take the money and run.
Because they still living off of it.
I'm not doing it. That's almost like child sex trafficking. You doing something like that?
Exactly. With your own child. With your own child.
Like, what is going on here?
And so my other question, you were gonna say something? You look like
no.
Okay, so my other question is right here. If that were to happen, I'm gonna tell my parents, okay, Michael Jackson told me I would get killed if I say something.
Well, he didn't say I would get killed. Allegedly, he
said
we will go to prison.
If I said something. Okay, if I'm a parent.
Well, he said you can't talk to your parents or anyone about this. Allegedly, he said this. So why would the child go to their parent and say it?
And where was this in the court documents?
It's in the court documents.
That he said that
the child said that he said that.
In the court documents when they went to court. The original court documents.
No, not the original court, the documentary. I'm sorry.
No. I'm talking about where was this in the court
documents? They didn't say it then because they defended him. They were on the defense witness list.
What I'm saying is I think all this right here is a play for something bigger. Because I guarantee you something big is going to come out.
Yeah, that they're about to be paying the Jackson estate $100 million.
Well, yeah.
So this Longhorn got on here. She has a comment.
Oh my God!
Y'all say her name. Say my daughter. Say the name.
Say my name. Say my name. She said, but you don't want to discredit someone telling you they were sexually harassed. Sexual harassment has been so normalized that people are afraid to come out. It wasn't until the Me Too movement that people got that voice. For some people, it's a release of this heavy burden. Maybe not in a public way like they did it, but maybe that's the only way they felt they were going to be heard. And then Ladybug Turner says, Black people talk about how they wouldn't allow their children to stay over at Neverland Ranch, but Uncle Bill was sexing their son into perversions. And then Longhorn said, don't hate.
Yeah,
Alex, hi Alex.
Miss Alex, that was well said.
That was
Sounds
very
like you
well
are
thought
getting
out.
a good education at UT.
But we're not talking about sexual harassment, but your point is made, and it's a very good point. Sexual harassment, sexual molestation. when a victim comes out and tells their story, we should not discredit them automatically. You know,
And I agree with
and
that.
I'm not saying that they didn't experience something because I wasn't there. I'm just saying that the circumstances surrounding them saying it now, and you know, I just don't
It's
know.
kind of funny.
I haven't seen the documentary to see their faces as they talk. I mean, it's just something about watching someone talk and just saying, you like with the R. Kelly thing, because at first I was like, R. Kelly ain't do nothing. Then I saw the documentary. I was like, oh, heck yes, he did.
Oh, I didn't think that. When I first heard it, I
yeah,
was
we
like,
already
I'm
knew.
not
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Well, see, and the circumstances around that right there is just right. Or anybody else who's come out, they've not come. They haven't come out and said no, you didn't, and then come out and say yes, you did.
But remember, at the time they
I know
were
these
children.
even
This
the
is the
kids-
part that I'm talking about.
I know
They
even
were
the kids,
children.
even those the children.
They were like 10, 13, or something
But
around
that's
that
what I'm saying
time.
though. Even the children that have come out against sexual harassment never said no, I didn't. Oh, yes, you did.
But
can go-
Ladybug says possibly they have the courage now that they feel safe with the Me Too movement. And I think that's what Alex is saying. Now that you have so many people that are boldly stepping out, it's just like people coming out as gay. Before, they weren't coming out of the closet because they were so scared, transgenders, so on and so forth, because there was no one else out there doing it. Now that there's a movement to come out and say these things, maybe they now feel safe enough to say, this really did happen. This is what happened. And at the time I was a child and I was afraid and so on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I'm not discrediting them. And I'm not saying that Michael Jackson did it. I don't know because I wasn't there, but I do have to see the documentary and hear their voices and see what they're talking about before I make you know, I like to make informed decisions about stuff, you know, and just because he was found innocent in a court of law does not mean that he's innocent. Just like with R. Kelly, he was found innocent in a court of law because the witness did not come through. And that's the other thing. Part of the reason why Michael Jackson was found not guilty is because the main witness from that first case didn't come through. He didn't come and be a witness for the prosecution. So that also could be, you know, that's detrimental, you know, because they did take the pictures. He did describe, I think it's that mic down there on the floor. This one right here. Is it hot?
No, ain't nothing hot down here.
I barely moved my leg and it just started making noise.
I don't know. It's that cord or something.
And I'm not even
But
cord. Okay.
made me lose my train of thought now.
Go ahead.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
All right, let's try this again.
My mic.
But,
gone now.
Is it yours?
Yeah, I pulled everything down.
Probably my mic.
Some.
Yeah, it's just my mic. Stay here.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right, we'll get
so-
it together. There we
Yeah.
go. Let's try it now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I had another point to make about Michael Jackson and the cases and stuff, but I can't remember what it was.
My thing is this right here.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point now?
Nothing.
Why come out now? What are you
Exactly.
trying to get out of this now? The man's not alive. He's not going to jail, no matter what you say now. I'm trying to understand, what are you trying to get out of this besides some sympathy, possible payments for TV time?
They're not getting paid. I
Okay.
did do the research. They're not getting paid
Yet.
for coming forward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well-
They're gonna
Well,
get paid.
yeah. I mean, they're gonna do a book.
Because
They're probably
the-
gonna get a book deal
Exactly,
and so on and
because
so forth.
something.
But according to them, their intent was not to be paid, but to get it off their chest.
How old are they now?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because my thing is this right here. Why not come out while he's still alive?
Right.
That's my whole thing. When I hear stuff like the people came out against Bill Cosby's still alive. They've come out on R. Kelly. R. Kelly's still alive. These people were grown.
But
While Michael Jackson
he
was
had
still
an
alive.
untimely death.
That's fine, but
Doesn't
he's
matter.
still alive.
Come out. I mean,
So you wait 10, 11 years later after
yeah.
the fact. Oh, yeah.
and then come out.
Michael Jackson was playing with my butt.
Oh Lord.
I mean, come on.
And that's a good point. That's a good point. What is the point of you coming out now?
Ooh wee.
What are you trying to gain from this? Are you trying to get healing for you?
only have 15 minutes. Oh, in this segment.
Yeah. Are you trying to get healing from your hurt? I mean, because first of all, you need to go to your parents and you and your parents need to talk about this.
Mhm.
Because the question was, Mama, why would you allow me to be in that situation?
Right.
You know, Mom, what's going on? Why would I mean, did that conversation happen?
I don't
You
know.
know, Daddy died, committed suicide because you left for Michael Jackson. Why did that happen? There's
Well,
so many
Ladybug Turner says, question, why are the names of Black leaders being outed when Walt Disney himself has never been slain in the media? He was the sickest MF to have ever lived.
Her favorite
Disney
word,
movies are
mofo.
so full of perversions and witchcraft. I would never watch another Disney film.
and Mickey,
That's
what's going
funny.
on with Mickey?
Sorry,
Man.
sorry, I'm watching Lion King.
But
I am too.
yeah.
I sure
Lion
am.
King.
Yeah, I'm
Lion
right. But what's up with
King.
Mickey? How come he all over every kid?
Anyway.
Hey, Mickey got to be like 80 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And then Minnie,
goodness.
you know, she ain't, I mean, and Goofy, you know, these ain't no righteous players.
We making your 30-minute deadline?
Yes, we're making the 30-minute deadline. So, are we going to watch the documentary?
I will.
I say we do that.
I will.
Professor, what you think? You got to watch it without the kids, though.
I
You
know.
ain't had the kids in it.
I will make time for that, but no, I got too many kids.
Yeah, you
no.
gotta
Okay.
watch that on your phone. Or
And then
On
something.
my own
double-
time.
Yeah, on your own time.
I will make time for that, but no. So you gonna watch it or you're not gonna watch it?
I will make time for myself. But I'm not watching in front of my kids.
Okay,
Yeah, not with the
That's
kids
what I'm
around.
saying.
Okay.
Cedric.
Okay.
Quest
Come
said he's
on,
not gonna
man.
watch it.
I heard I will make time, but no. Did you not hear that?
I said that.
Yeah, I think I just.
I'm shortening my verbiage so we can move
I
on.
think I just want to watch it so that I can get, you know, my own understanding and,
Right.
and hear the voices of the
So
people
we'll
that
review
have-
next week.
Yeah, we'll review next week. We can do that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.